Hello friends, welcome back. So in this session we will see the example of Spring IOC. In the last session we have already seen the introduction of Spring and the features of a Spring. So here we will see the example of Spring IOC framework. So we have already seen what is a Spring IOC container. Spring IOC container is used to store the object of a Spring application, and two types of Spring containers are there. One is bean factory, another one is application context, and we have already seen the difference of that one. So now we will take an example of Spring application of Spring IOC. So we have already created the project and I will show you that pom.xml we have already added these two dependency. Only these two dependencies we have added. If you see here, only these two, Spring core and Spring context, we have added. Version you can change according to your requirement. You can take the latest one or you can take any of the version. Okay, so that is fine. And now first we have created two beans. If you see container is used to store the objects only. So first we need to create the beans, then only we will configure that bean, and after configuring we will call Spring container, and Spring container will create the object and will give the object. So first we will create the bean. So here we have created two beans, one is student, another one is address. If you see the student, then student has some of the fields, some of the dependencies like name. Student has a name, string type name, integer type roll number, set of long type, contact numbers, string array that is holding email IDs of a student. Like a student can have more than one email ID, so we are taking that one. Student can have more than one contact number, that we are taking in a form of set. And student will have the subjects, how many subjects he is, like C, C++, Java, Sanskrit, Hindi, English, any of the subjects. And obtained marks, how much marks in each subject he got actually. That one we are storing in a map of a string and integer. And another one is a reference variable of another object, that is an address. And if you see the address bean, then address bean is having these 5-6 fields. That is the locality of a string type, city of a string type, district of string type, state of string type, country of string type, and pin code is integer type. So these are the fields of address, and these are the fields of student. Now these two beans we have created. Now we will do the configurations. We will do the configuration first. So configuration we can do in two ways. Configuration we can do in two ways. One is XML configuration, another one is Java or annotation configuration. Two configurations are there. One is XML configuration, another one is a Java configuration. XML or Java configuration. So XML configuration is done in XML file. Name of the file you can give anything, no issue, but that should be .xml file, because we are doing configuration in XML. Or if you are doing XML in .java file, you can do that one, that is also your choice. That if this file name you can give any. Spring configuration we are giving, you can give any other, like my configuration file, Spring framework configuration file, Spring core configuration file, any of the name you can give. So this code, if you see this Spring Java annotation configuration, that is very much readable. You can understand from here. Here you can see we have declared one class, we have declared one variable variable. That variable is returning an address, and this is the method name. Sorry, we are declaring one method. That method is returning address type object, and we are creating here object, and we are setting the values, and we are returning. Here we are marking one @bean annotation. What is the use we will see, and we are marking here @configuration also, because this configuration configuration is indicating that this class is a configuration file. This class is a configuration file, and this bean means this class is returning a bean. So this is a bean. It's considering this is a bean, and this is also a bean of a student type, and here we are creating a student with some of the value using constructor, and some of the values we are setting using setter method, and we are returning student. This code we can easily understand, but if you go for this one, this both code are similar only, both are similar. Here we will configure our bean in form of XML tag. We will use XML tags, and we will configure the bean. So if you see, the bean will be configured with bean tag. Bean will be configured with the bean tag. So here bean ID, this will be ID. ID will be nothing but the bean name, you can say. This will be the bean name. Unique ID for each bean will be provided in in Spring Framework. Spring Framework will give a unique ID, or you can say unique name for each bean. So here ID we will give, and here we will give what is the class of that bean. Which is the class? This is your class com.techhub.demo. If you see this class, address class, this address class is present in com.techhub.demo.spring.bean. So same only, com.techhub.demo.spring.bean.address. Here 4 constructors values are there, because constructor, if you see in constructor we are passing 4 values. If you see here 1 2 3 4 values we are passing here in constructor. But here in this XML configuration, we have to tell using this tag construct arg. Constructor arg means argument, constructor argument. What is the name of that constructor argument? Locality. What will be the value for that one? This one will be the value for this one. The second parameter, what will be the name of the second parameter? This one, city. What will be the value for this one? This will be the value. Third one, what will be the value for, what will be the name of the third parameter? This one. What will be the value for this one? This is. Fourth one, what is the fourth argument? This one. What is the name of that fourth argument? This one. What will be the value? This one. So this will set with the help of constructor. It will create the object, and after that one, this property tag is used to set the value using setter method. Here if you see setter method, set pin and set country, set pin code and set country. If you see, so here pin code and country, they are the field name, and these are the values. That's it. And here if you see, we have created another bean. Here 2 beans are there, no, student. Now this is a student, and for student email ID, student subject name, obtained marks, we are setting different types. If you see student contact number, then we are setting a set. We are creating a set, a static set we are creating here, and we are setting. And here emails, we are creating a new array of a string, and we are setting. Here we are creating a list of a static list, and that we are setting to subject names. Here we are creating a static map, and we are setting address. We are setting whatever is passed here. So who will pass? Your Spring will pass. Which object will be passed? This address one will be passed. Okay. Here what will be the name? See here one extra configuration is we are giving id, bean id, address 1. Here we are giving for this one student 1 the id means nothing but the unique id or unique name of a bean. But here we are not specifying any name. Here we are not specifying any name of the bean. Then what will be the name of bean? By default address 1 will be the name of bean. By default the method name will be the bean name. The method name will be the bean name by default. Okay. So here how we will set for these collection type fields, how we will set. So collection type field we will set. So these two are the constructor name and roll number. If you see constructor in 2 parameter we are passing name and a roll number. So here we are passing constructor name and roll number in this XML tag constructor arg. What is the name of that field? Name itself, name is name only. What will be the value? This will be the value. What is this another parameter of that constructor? Roll number. What will be the value? This 10 will be the value. Here this is the 6, that is different values we are passing. Next one is we are setting contact number. So how we will set the contact number? If you see the set contact number is a set. So we have to use this property because we are using setter. Property tag will be used to set the value of using setter injection. We will see how many types of injections are there. So currently just understand property is used to set the value using setter method. Property is used to set the value of an object with the help of setter method. Getter and setter method will be there. No, see here in the student or address, if you see setter and getter method is there. Setter, set name, set subject name, set obtained marks, set address is there. So these are the setter injection or setter method. So property tag will be used to set the object value using setter method, and constructor arg is used to initialize the state or to initialize the dependency of object using constructor. That is the name itself suggests constructor argument name, argument value. Simple. Here also argument name, constructor argument name, constructor argument value Virendra Kumar, constructor argument name, roll number value 10. So constructor arg tag is used to set the dependency injection value using constructor, and property tag is used to set the value of bean with the bean using setter method or setter injection. Fine. And if you see this the contact number dependency type of set. So we are using set tag. Set. This set is representing this set only. Set is representing set only. And email. Next one is email. Email is what? Email is nothing but an array of a string. So array that will be nothing, a list only. Array that is nothing but a list only, because there is no specific tag for array. Array will be list only. No, list is also an array only internally. If you see the dynamic type array only list. So that's why this we are using list for email IDs, and inside list we are setting value. This is the email 1, email 2. These are the values for list. Third one is subject name. That is a list also. So that is also fine. If it is a list, we can set in the similar way. List, subject name, list. These three. Subject is reading is read by Virendra Kumar. Sanskrit, math, science. These three are there. Next one is obtained marks. That is a map. Obtained marks is a map. So if it is a map, then it will be a map tag, and inside map tag entry will be there. Entry will have a key and value. Entry will have key and value. Key value. Entry name is Sanskrit. This is the subject name. These are the marks. Here Sanskrit. This is Sanskrit. This is a key. This is a value. Key value. So here also key value. This is key and this is value. That's it. Next one is property, that is reference type. Because if you see this student address, this address is not a collection type or primitive type. These two are a primitive type, these four are collection type, but this is not a primitive or not a collection. This is a reference type of another. It is pointing to some other object reference variable. So that's why this is called a reference variable, no? Because this variable will be this variable will refer to some other object of another class. So that is why this is a reference type. So here for reference type we will not use value. For a property, if you see here, property name and value, because this is a primitive, either string or number, doesn't matter, it will come here. But this is a reference type. So reference we have to give ref. Name is address. Field name is what? Field name is address only. But field value is what? Reference type. Reference of what? Here we have to give the bean ID of other reference, like address 1. This is your address 1. And here if you see address 1, who will, here where we are referring, automatically your spring bean, when spring container will call this student 1 method, automatically spring framework will pass address here, and with that only we are setting. So these two are the approaches of configuration for spring bean. Spring bean we can configure in two ways: XML and configuration, XML configuration and Java configuration. Okay, so that is fine. Now we will see the examples here. So if you see, these two are the beans, and that beans I have configured in spring configuration XML, and another configurations I have given in spring configuration.java. Both configurations are there, same configuration. This is a one bean that I have created. I have used a constructor to set the values. I have used a constructor to set the values of locality, city, district, and setter method I have used to set the values of for country and pin code. Here this is student, to name and roll number I have set using constructor, and remaining I have set by property tag, means by using a setter method. Same only, set, this is a set, this is representing list that can be a list or that can be an array, and this is a list again, also again list, and map is representing a map of a key and value, and this is a reference address, so I am giving here reference address of address 1. Fine. And this is a XML, this is a spring Java configuration or annotation based configuration, so that you can very much understand from the code itself. Here just nothing, that we have created a class of a spring configuration, and we have created a address 1 method that is returning an address, and we are creating here address with these values by passing in constructor, and remaining to pin code and country we are setting using setter method, and we are returning. And here also we are doing the same thing. Here we are creating a one method, and that method is returning a student, and here we are creating a student by passing these two value, name and roll number. Remaining we are setting using setter method, and we are returning. So this is and here the name of the address bean will be address 1 and address student 1, because by default the name of the method will be the bean name or bean id. Okay, so this is fine. Now what we will do, we will call Spring Framework, and this configuration we will pass to Spring Framework, and we will call the object from Spring Framework. We will say to Spring Framework, just give this object, Spring Framework will automatically give. So that one we have given in this app start. This is nothing but just to print in console in color, in color, so that we can easily identify which line we are printing. Okay, this is just logger, this is just logger in blue. Application started. Here our job is starting. Now if you see application context, this is here. If you see, we have two types of container. One is bean factory, another one is application context. So we are taking here example of application context. If you want to take bean factory, you can take bean factory also. Here same way, bean factory is equals to bean factory. If you want to take for bean factory, you can take that one also. That's it, it will come. I'm just giving this name only, CTX, I'm just giving the name. Okay, so that we can easily, we don't need to rename so many places. That's why just I'm giving CTX context only. That's it. Okay, so just I'm commenting this one, and now this bean factory we got here. So from this bean factory, if you see, from this bean factory, what we are doing here, so this bean factory, if you see, we have created with from spring configuration.xml file only. This configuration file we are passing here, we are passing this configuration file, we are passing this configuration file, spring configuration.xml, this one, spring configuration.xml, this file, and by passing this file to class path xml application context, we are getting bean factory, and that bean factory, from that bean factory we are getting the bean of a student. Here get bean of this type, and just I am running, you will see we are printing the student, then from the student we are getting address, and we are printing address, and here we are printing again address. So if you see the output, so it will print which values, the value whatever we have configured in spring configuration.xml file, name, roll number, contact number, everything is here. See, here we are printing student address beans, address is the same only, locality near West End Chopta city, same only, same, you can see now, same, near Chopta city Sirsa Haryana, same only, Chopta city Sirsa Haryana 456789 pin code, same only. Countries Bharat, pin code is this one. Okay, in the same student, for student what is the name, Virender 10, same only, name Virender Kumar, roll number 10983882, these are the mobile number, just simply just random values I am giving. Okay, so this one, this is the configuration. Okay, now if you want to take the configuration of Java configuration, then how can you take that one? In this way, Now run this one. See, now what you are seeing here, it is saying no qualifying bean. This configuration it is taking this configuration. Sorry, annotations. Okay, fine. This one missed something. Fine. Actually, we were passing here that XML. Okay. Yes, it is taking. Okay. So this is fine, and so it is giving the same result only, but no, it is different because this configuration is now it is taking from this configuration file, Spring this Java configuration, that is taking from Java configuration. Yes, in Java configurations that details are different. Name, student name is this different, roll number, whatever we have specified here, that is same it is taking. Yes, same, all are same, you can match. Obtained marks, address, student details, everything you can match. Fine. So this one is bean factory container. Next, another one is application context. Similar, no? Application context. So we will use only application context because this has a more feature. Whatever bean factory has, application context has all, and with the extra feature it is coming. So that's why we will use this one only. So this one is a Spring configuration, Java configuration, sorry, Spring Java configuration. It will be give the same response only, same result it will come. Whatever will be configured in Spring configuration, the values of bean will be same only. Here it is getting. And if you will pass the XML configuration, so it will get the values of XML configuration, it will get the values of whatever we have configured in XML, it will get that values. Yes, same only. Virender Kumar, whatever we have configured in XML, same only. Same only. So like that we can configure. Now now you see one thing, this if you see here in this one, so just I am commenting all are I am commenting. Okay, no need to comment. So here if you see context ctx.getBean of student.class, what does it mean? It means you are telling to bean factory, or you are telling to your IOC container that please give me an object of student type. So what your container will do, what your Spring framework will do, your Spring framework will search for an object of a student type, any object. If any object is there, so it will found, but it should be only one object. If more than one object is running, your Spring will throw more than one object of a student types are running in your Spring framework, in Spring container. So in that case, what you have to do, you have another approach, that you have to tell the bean ID student1, and you have to typecast to student. Yes, same approach, no difference, same values only it will give. See, so here The difference is, if you see the line number 49 and line number 44, the difference is at line number 44 we are getting the bean with the bean ID, but at line number 49 we are getting the bean with type, So if you go for the configuration in Spring, so here if you see student ID is this one. If I will give here ABC, student ID I changed, student bean ID I changed. Now what will happen? Student 1 is not there. So now what will happen? If you see, it is giving an error, exception. What is that exception? No such bean definition exception. No bean with name student 1 available. This bean is not there. Bean name is ABC. So now it will get. We have changed the bean name and it will get. Yes, you can see. So this is the bean name. We can specify. So I am giving here stud into student 1, and now I have to change to here also student 1, stud into student 1, and just run this one. It will come. Yes, it is getting. So this is for XML configuration. If the same I will do with the Java configuration, then it will work, whether it will work or not. If you see, what is the name of this bean? Student 1. Student 1 is the name of a bean. So student 1 only I am giving. Student 1 only I have given. So it will work. It should work. Definitely it will work. Yes. But what if I will give the bean name something different? How I will change the bean name? ABC. I will change here method name, because by default in Java configuration the bean name will be the method name. So now student 1 is not there. So it will give the same exception. What is that exception? No such bean definition exception. No bean with name student 1 available. Same. So I will give here ABC. In this case it will work. Okay. So yeah, it is working. But see here, this method, it should not be like that. No, method should not, because this is not following the method naming convention also. It's not looking good. So get student I can give. Get student. In that case, what will be the bean name? Get student will be the bean name. But this should not be the name. Get, it is representing an action. Get. So what can we do? Here inside this name we can give the name student A. Now what will be the name of this bean? Student A will be the name of this bean. Now if I run this one, get student, here bean name, here we are giving get student, and if I run this one, it will give the same error, no qualifying bean. Yes, same error. No such bean definition exception. No bean with name, this one. So what is the name of that bean? Student A is the name of that bean. Yes, it is working fine. So here in this way we will specify the bean name, and here the bean name we can specify here itself. Okay, so this is fine. Yeah, this configuration, that is okay. Now what is bean? We have already seen. Now what is bean? A class that object is created by a Spring container called Spring Bean, a class that object is created by Spring container called bean in Spring. Each bean has an ID called name that is unique for every bean in a Spring container. Same, this is the ID name. This is the name of a unique name. It should be unique name. If two names you will give here, it will fail. Your Spring container will not start at all. If you give the same name, suppose if I here, if you see student address 1, and here also I will try to give address 1, what will happen? Spring container will not start at all. See what is happening. What is that exception? No bean exception, bean with student A available. Bean. Okay, it will replace. Fine, it will replace. So name should be unique, otherwise it will override. Okay, fine. So in this configuration it should not be like that. Fine, that is okay. So each bean ID is called name, and that is unique for every bean in a Spring. Now here some of the description we will see. In main class we are creating annotation, configuration, application, context, type, object by passing Spring configuration file. If you see we are from this configuration, what we are doing from this configuration, annotation, config, application, context, we are passing this configuration file and we are getting application context. From this application context we are getting the bean. So what will happen in that case? In this step, configuration of a Spring is executed at this line only. At this line, the configuration, whatever configuration, whether this is a Spring configuration, Java configuration or XML configuration, that will be executed. And in this step the configuration of a Spring is executed and objects are created by the executing method and marked with @bean or whatever you are giving XML configuration. So using XML configuration, it will take the your Spring container will take the bean tag, and from the bean tag it will create the object. Or if you are giving the XML Java configuration, it will take that configuration file, and from that one it will take the @bean annotation and it will create the object. So here some of the points that we have to remember, we have to keep in mind. What exactly the Spring by default create a singleton object for bean. What is singleton? Singleton means only one object of a bean will be created by default. Wherever you will use, always the single object will be created by default. And if you want to create a multiple object, then you have to give the scope prototype in annotation. Another one, by default use aggressive loading strategy. Aggressive loading means it will create object aggressively. It will not wait when someone will call and ask for the object. It will create. That is aggressive loading. By default the strategy is aggressive loading. By default bean name is a method name. We have seen this one in Spring in Java configuration. By name, the default name will be the method name. By default aggressive loading strategy for singleton object. See here, aggressive loading strategy is by default because the by default scope is singleton. If scope is prototype, it will not follow the aggressive loading strategy, because your Spring framework is very much expert. He know you have to create one object only. So why you should not create at configuration loading time? You can create, no. So Spring is creating, but you know you are specifying the scope as a prototype, means multiple objects should be created. So your Spring also don't know how many objects it has to create, so it will not create any object. Whenever someone will ask for object, Spring will create the object and provide. and every time new object will be given. So that is the meaning of scope. Scope either can be prototype or can be singleton. Singleton is by default, you don't need to specify. Prototype you have to specify @scope prototype. It will be where you will specify here in this configuration, simple prototype, scope prototype, that's it. Every time new object will be created. Okay, so this is these are the scope. Fine. So and by default name is method, that is okay. By default aggressive loading strategy for singleton, and it allow lazy loading strategy for prototype. If it is a prototype, then it is lazy loading. If it is a singleton, then it is a aggressive loading. Okay, prototype multiple object creations. We also can specify a loading strategy @lazy true or lazy false. Like strategy also we can specify what should be the strategy, lazy or lazy loading or aggressive loading, lazy true, false by true or false. Okay, so this is called inverse of control. Next one is dependency injection. We have seen two types of dependency injection here. One is constructor injection, another one is setter injection. If you see here in this configuration, this is constructor injection, because the values of address object are initialized with the help of constructor. So that's why that is constructor injection. And the values of pin code and country is initialized with the help of setter method. So that is a setter injection. Simple. This is a constructor injection, this is a setter injection. We are using setter methods. We are using setter method to initialize the dependency of bean called setter injection, and when we are using constructor to initialize the dependency of object called constructor injection. Two types of injections are there, constructor injection and setter injection. One more is there, that is field injection. What is field injection? When container use annotation for field injection, that is achieved through wiring. We will see in the next session. This is a very powerful approach. You no need this constructor, you no need this setter method. Automatically using field injection or using wiring, your spring will initialize the dependency. Very much expert. So we will see that in next session. So here what is dependency injection? Dependency injection is nothing but the initialization of a field called dependency injection. Or if you see the definition, initialization the fields or variable of the bean called dependency injection. The dependency injection can be achieved by three ways. Dependency injection can be achieved by three ways. What is dependency injection? In the initialization of the dependency of a bean or the initialization of variable of the object called dependency injection. And the dependency injection can be achieved by three ways. One is constructor injection, another one is a setter injection. Constructor injection is this one, that we will use constructor to initialize the dependency of bean, and when we will use the setter method to initialize the dependency of a bean called setter injection. And if you see the XML configuration, here also we will use constructor arg tag to initialize the constructor injection. Constructor arg tag we will use to initialize the dependency in constructor injection, and property tag will be used to initialize the dependency of a bean with the help of setter injection. Setter injection property will be used for setter injection, and constructor arg will be used for constructor injection. And inside this Java configuration, we can simply how we are creating the object, and inside constructor only we are passing the values, that is constructor injection, and when we are using setter method to set the value, that is setter injection. So these two are the injection type. How we can do constructor injection: when a container use the parameterized constructor to initialize the field, that is constructor injection. Constructor injection is what? When a container use the parameterized constructor to initialize the fields, called constructor injection. And setter injection, when a container use setter method to initialize the method, called setter injection. What is field injection? That is when a container use annotation for field injection, that is achieved through wiring. We will see in the next session. Okay, here this is the just description. Constructor arg has a two attribute like type and index. Index also you can give parameter to resolve the value. If you don't want to give the name, you can give you can give here instead of name, you can give index also. If you are giving name locality, so that is also fine. Otherwise you will give you can give the index 0 1 2 3 4, like what is the value of 0, what will be the value first, then order number of the parameter, that is also fine. Okay, type can be used for all constructor parameter having a unique type. If it is type can be used if all constructor parameter have a unique type, then it can be used. Or if you are specifying in the same order, then that is also fine. No, you no need to give. Index can be used to resolve the value of argument as per the order of the parameter of a constructor argument. That's fine. Okay, that's it. So in the next session we will see wiring, that is the third type of field injection. That is, wiring is nothing but type of dependency injections only, but this is the third type of dependency injection. Two types of dependency injection we have seen in this session: constructor injection and setter injection. Field injection we will see in the next session, that is nothing but wiring. So I hope you like this session. Please subscribe my channel and we will see you in the next session. Till that, bye bye and thanks for watching.